Hello. In this video, I'm going to be drawing a cucumber beetle. We have our cucumber beetle here. Thanks, James Reben. Yeah. Bugs like these are really difficult to tell where the thorax is and where the abdomen is. And, in general, I don't even say in general, I'm pretty sure this beetle can fly. It's clear because there's like a separation on its wing covers. And the important thing is that I realized when you have bugs like these, usually their back legs are just a little bit further back than their front 4 legs. So, 6 legs in total. So what makes it confusing is like where the thorax begins and where the abdomen begins, and in general, a lot of the shell armor is a bit of a trick. So I'll show you, and I'm gonna start off with the ball of the head. The ball of the head is pretty small. Well, actually, it's a little bit more ellipsoid than I anticipated. Well, to be honest, I actually am going to start with a ball and I'll add stuff onto it. The perspective kind of makes it look like that. I'm pretty sure the head is a little bit more pill-shaped, but I'll use a ball in this instance. So now what I want to do is I want to draw the ball of the thorax. I should make it a little bit thinner. Now I'm going to draw the abdomen. Oh, you know what? I should have angled that down. So it angled down a bit further than I anticipated. Oops. I'm going to make that a little bit shorter. Yeah, I think that works. So I'm going to draw the 2 legs, the back legs, the pilot holes for them first. And you'll see what I'm doing. Even though I may not be drawing the back legs because they are a bit out of view. They're there, they're just a bit out of view based on the perspective shot. So we have that, and I'm going to hold off on drawing the actual gestural lines for the legs, because many times in the past when I've done that, I ended up underestimating it compared to the structure, or the construction. I keep calling it structure. Oh well. So what I want to do first is I'm going to do some weird things. I want to draw a line to show some of the separations when it comes to the head and the thorax. Well, it's more like the weird cover area. So I drew a line here, and I'm also going to quickly draw a little bit of the, I'll commit to this. So certain insects have like a really interesting cover between like the head and the thorax. I've seen this a lot in ladybugs, in which it's kind of like a little extra fusing layer, like right there, and it acts as a good deal of insect armor, as I call it, or as you probably have heard me call it that multiple times. Now I want to draw the eye, and the interesting thing is the eye here is doing some it's connected in an interesting way, and I will color in the eye for clarity. And you can kind of see where, like, on the top there's a bit of curvature for how it like connects to the head. Oops. And I will be adding a bunch of other construction onto here, because there's a lot based on the perspective. I also see some additional parts. They look like mandibles of some sort. I don't know if it's proboscis or something like that, but they do look significant to me. There's a lot of stuff going on below. There's also this under area that connects to that middle piece here. I'll draw it again so I can show you. It kind of like does an undercurve thing, something like that, if that helps explain it, which I think it does. So now what I want to do is I'm going to actually draw the gestural lines for the antenna, because I think I could safely do that considering the construction I added, but I wanted to add one last part. Based on the perspective, I could see just a little bit extra area of the head, kind of like over here, and you will see why that matters in a moment, because I'm going to plot some points for where I'll put the antenna. Maybe like right there. And I see a connection point about here, and I'm going to ghost my line a little bit until I find a comfortable. Well, you know what? I'm going to put it there. I keep underestimating it a little bit. Oh, you know what? Actually does a little bit of that. And the other antenna is just facing the opposite direction, so it kind of does that. And note that. So what I did here, I drew a line, and I kind of made it curve, because the whole idea of that is for it to be curving and receding in 3D space. Think of like a candy cane. Think of like a candy cane facing away from you. That's kind of what it appears to be. I mean, granted, the antenna is not a candy cane shape in any way, but I just wanted to explain that. So now what I want to do is I want to draw a part that's going to be the end of the shell, and you'll see why this matters. You know what? A little bit too high. Okay, so I drew that, and I just realized it should be a bit more like that. And now I'm going to draw it connected. The other important thing here is it kind of like, there's kind of like, it's a bit rounded, if that makes sense. Like right where the cover, it's not covering, it's like covering, the back shell is covering a bit of the thorax and abdomen. So there's like an area that kind of does that. I keep thinking like a mustache. And it's a bit important for me to show that relationship, as difficult as it is to draw. So we have that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the other part of the shell, and it's actually interesting because you can see a bit of the 3D-ness of the shell over here, kind of like overhangs a little bit before it comes back and kind of becomes a bit hidden. And I'm kind of making it way too thick. It should be much more subtle. But I will connect it over here. I keep wondering if this cucumber beetle is a pollinator of any sort, or acts as one. I would not be surprised. The other thing I want to add is I'm seeing kind of like a bit of the underbelly of this thing. I'm pretty sure it's the abdomen, but it kind of like ever so slightly curves out and comes back in. And that makes me realize that the ball I drew of the abdomen, I probably greatly underestimated. Yeah, I greatly underestimated the abdomen. It should have been much more. It should have been larger, considering what I'm drawing. Now, the other thing is I can see a little bit of the eye on the other side. It's a little bit hard to see, and we're just seeing a little bit of it, not a lot of it. And now I'm also kind of thinking that maybe I didn't do the shell justice. Like, it's a little bit too much of a ball. It should have been a little bit thinner, much more pill-shaped to about here and there. Yeah, but oh well. Now I'm going to draw the gestural lines for the legs that we can see. And we can't see a lot of them, but we can see some of them. We can see some of them on the other side as well, although they're not as clear. But, you know, insects are always an interesting thing to try to photograph. I'm also kind of realizing that the leg here, I may have put the pilot hole a bit weird. It may be doing something like that we can't see all of the underconnections of the legs. But I know for this one, yeah, it's doing a lot of interesting things. Even there, it's a little bit obscured. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to draw the antenna, and there's a lot of interesting shapes as it connects to the head. It's like all of these stacking cup-like things, although they're a bit thinner than what I'm drawing them. And the end cap is kind of like a half of a pill, which now I keep beating myself up because I keep thinking that the head, I should have made the ball much smaller. I think I made the ball of the head a bit too large for what it is, but oh well, I'm gonna stop beating myself up for that. I've done that way too often. Okay, and over here, do that just to show the three-dimensional, how that antenna is kind of receding in 3D space, that candy cane shape that I was mentioning before. Okay, now on to the legs. We're seeing a little bit longer of that initial attachment point for that leg, and I think I should have made that a bit further down. Yeah, there's an interesting shape as it comes and connects. With some of these parts, it's interesting. It's like there's a flat side, and then there's a side that's a bit more of like an S-curve, kind of like that. Now at this point, it's like they're a bunch of like small stacking triangle cups. Oops. As we go. There's a lot going on under this leg that's a bit difficult to see. I hate to draw parts that we can't see because I like to, I always like to only draw the things that are crystal clear. Although sometimes you just have to work with what you got. Yeah, there's a bit of a story with that. Oops. I realized that it's kind of more like that. Like that. Oops. I drew it a bit too thick. And sometimes when you look at different directions of the legs, you'll see much different things than you may have anticipated. And I think a lot of those things are for helping the given insect to climb plants and trees and whatnot. But yeah, those are the major things that I'm seeing. I hope this video helps out a bit. I didn't draw this leg, which I could have tried to do, although it's a bit difficult. But yeah, I didn't draw the different spots on the back of this cucumber beetle either. I mean, I could. You know, each one's a bit of an interesting case. I wonder why. I wonder if it's to either be identified by other cucumber beetles, or if there's a deeper meaning to it for attracting mates or something like that. But pretty cool. Yeah, I'll have to, now that I think about it, I keep wondering why ladybugs have all those spots on their backs. There's got to be a reason. I need to do an internet search for that now. Oops, I made that one a bit too big. And when I draw these spots, I am trying to be cautious of the curvature of the shell. But yeah, I hope this video helps you. It's always fun drawing beetles. I mean, I guess it's fun drawing most insects. Okay, well, yeah, I hope this video helps you in some way. Oh, the other thing, I see a little bit of an area at the end over here. I don't know if it's like a little bit of its wing, but it could be. But maybe I'm just speculating. Oh, also at this point, I realized there's kind of like this different part over here that I probably that I forgot to draw, but I drew it now. So yeah, if you like the video, please like it. If you like my channel, please subscribe. And if you have a question, please ask in the comments. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.